Hey class, so in today's video we are talking about why I'm not concerned when a child in my family has chosen to hold their breath because they weren't allowed to have candy for dinner. So basically we got to start out with the functions of the respiratory system, and I have written down my explanation here. I don't have any pictures today, but I like to have my explanation in front of me so that my words are clear. So the respiratory system, first of all, it helps in making the blood in the body rich in life-sustaining gas. And that life-sustaining gas is oxygen. It's what we breathe. And we absorb it in from the atmosphere. It also helps in flushing out the waste, or the gases that we don't use, like carbon dioxide, present in the blood, and it washes it out into the atmosphere. So how does the nervous system control breathing under typical circumstances? Well, the nervous system takes care of the breathing by means of respiratory centers that are called afferent pathways and efferent pathways. So input lines and output lines. And these centers and lines, along with sensors that are able to detect signals, such as chemoreceptors, they're called, and stretch receptors, regulate the breathing rate and depth according to the needs of the body. So that is basically what the respiratory system is. And why am I not concerned when the child has chosen to hold his or her breath? Well, part of it is due to what happens when you hold your breath. Respiratory muscles can be controlled by a person, partly up to a certain extent. But there are other muscles that are out of our control. And even though the muscles under our control become autonomous, which means they act via themselves in the case of respiratory malfunction. So when your breath is held, waste materials will build up in your blood, the gases that we don't need. And once it's built up in the blood enough, past healthy limits, it's going to evoke a response and we're going to breathe automatically. So I'm not concerned that the child isn't breathing because the hypoxia of the blood, meaning they're not going to have enough oxygen, and the hypercapnia of the blood, meaning too much CO2, is going to evoke a nervous mechanism that automatically produces a reflex of breathing. So after a minute or so, or however long they can go, they're going to breathe automatically. They're not going to suffocate. Thanks for listening.